Ember to read for us the Rotary information on washing schools.
Yes. Yes, RP, I'll take it myself. So,
very well.
Fellow Rotarians and guests, Rotary information, wash in schools. Coronavirus reminds us that healthcare is an intricate support structure, depending on many factors of a successful defense. Some of these are very basic, like just washing our hands. Of course, having a source of enough clean water is the first requirement. But as Rotary's WASH projects demonstrates, teaching school children the importance of washing one's hands frequently is also necessary for communities where such basic hygiene is not common, and the child is encouraged to teach the parents to spread the practice within the family. The creation of a comprehensive healthcare structure is not easy, even given the many examples of successful systems in a wide variety of economic environments. But there does need to be sufficient wealth and the will to use it in this fashion. The politics of this is daunting. Coronavirus will prove to be a stress test that will generate much thought after it goes the way of all the previous such epidemics. But thanks to the Polio Plus inspired infrastructure, many countries have a system in place to quickly apply the lessons learned with greater efficiency than ever before, The Rotarians, for Rotarians, this is an exciting time to be people of action. If we pay attention to advances, there will come many opportunities to create and fund projects that will have even more impact than before. That is not to say that digging wells, building latrines, and hand washing stations will be unnecessary anytime soon, but new ways of doing these basic projects will emerge, making our impacts even greater. We should not abandon our role in water, sanitation, and hygiene, but work to use our creative powers to make these small yet vital projects more effective. RP, fellow Rotarians and guests, Rotary information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotarian President, for a well-read Rotary information.
So Kwabena Asomaning is a jewelry business leader with over 20 years working experience spanning gold refinery, assaying, smelting, jewelry fabrication, training, research, and writing. Kwabena is a second-generation goldsmith with his apprenticeship under his jewelry lecturer dad, starting as early as his 12th birthday through his high school days. Even though he had gathered enough knowledge and experience from the family gold business, he still chose to enroll in the 4-year jewelry program at Ghana's Kwabena Asomaning University of Science and Technology in 1996. A naturally gifted speaker and teacher, Kwabena has spoken and recommended on Ghana's gold industry issues, as well as offered workshops for jewelry associations. For years, Kwabena has argued for a right set of synergy between human resource development and the vast gold resources we have here. He believes that a development of the downstream gold industry cannot be overemphasized, hence his passion for training. Kwabena is a high-energy sports fan, an active lawn tennis player, and horse rider. He holds a bachelor's degree in jewelry from Kwabena Asomaning University of Science and Technology, and currently undertaking a studio-based research in gold jewelry at the same institution. Fellow Rotarians and guests, your speaker, Kwabena Asomaning. Kwabena, your listeners. Let me put it
right. Rotarian President, thank you very much. Rotarian President Andrew, thank you very much. I can see close to 50 people on call, and I extend my greetings to everybody, especially from Rotary Club of Accra East, Rotary Club of Accra Roman Rage, and of course my own Provisional Rotary Club of Accra North Kaneshie. And from a very good friend from Rwanda, Rotary Club Global Passport, greetings to you all. I feel more at home, Rotarian President Andrews, more so because my own primary school mate, friend, and university classmate, President-elect Chris, introduced me. I thank you very much. I also have to say this before I start, that I'm very grateful for this opportunity. If my screen can be seen, then we can start. I guess you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
At this stage, I would also like to go off video so that we can concentrate. So we go.
It
Right.
would be good to put it on presentation mode, please.
On presentation mode, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Is not good like this?
No.
President Chris.
Yes, if you can just change it to the presentation mode. So you go to the bottom right, and it's move to the left a bit. You see the screen.
But if you are comfortable with this, you can proceed. Since we can see it, you can proceed, please.
I guess you were close to guiding me, P. Chris.
Okay, so right there. Yes, click that.
So we go.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, P. Chris. And so we have before us a discussion tonight titled "To Mine or Not to Mine: Finding Gold or Keeping Our Water Bodies." You know, we are in our water and hygiene and sanitation month, and it is very important that we ensure our water bodies are kept clean. At the same time, here we are as Ghanaians and as Africans with tons of gold under our feet. So the question is, do we mine or we don't mine in order to keep our water bodies clean? I am breaking my presentation into these areas. First of all, gold mining, and why? Why should we mine at all? And what is gold and what is mining? The next session, we'll take a look at mining practices and best practices in other places outside Ghana. And then we'll try to juxtapose the value of water and the value of gold to see which one is more valuable, which one we should chase, look for, find, search, and which one we should just ignore so that we'll have a valuable life in our ecosystem. And then after all the long talk, we'll try and see what the way forward should be. Retiring President Andrew gave me some judicious time, and I will make sure I work within the time. So let's move on. Yes, we're trying to look at gold. What is gold? And why should we mine gold? Why mining and why gold? So tonight we have in front of us the story of a precious mineral which decided to hide in water bodies, unfortunately, General President, and also hide in rocks. And yet this hidden resource, precious mineral, is needed for aeronautical engineering circuits. Engineering circuitry in aeronautics, we need gold for that. Investment instruments, we need gold for nations, many other countries that are having gold reserves. They need gold to keep as reserves in their national banks. And so if you take the bank in UK, for example, they have huge gold reserves. In Russia, they do have. In USA, China and Japan, they do have. And then, of course, we need to make jewelry out of gold too. And so we come to the question, should we mine and why should we mine? In the picture here on the top left, you see a couple of friends there opening the belly of the earth looking for gold. This is small scale mining. And then in the middle picture, you see a mining truck deep down in the belly of the earth, also looking for gold. These two pictures, they're all looking for gold. One is more decent and formal. The other one is a bit informal and not decent. And then in my last picture, you see gold being melted. Then again, over here in these pictures here, you see gold melted in the form of bars, cast pieces in the form of gold bars. This is what are normally kept in national banks as gold reserves. And then in the next picture, you see a rotary pin, and it's in gold. It's 18-karat gold, and I'm sure all of us Rotarians, fellow Rotarians, would like to wear a gold pin and not just a gold-colored pin. Then in my last picture, we have water, sanitation, and hygiene logo. with Rotary International logo there, expressing the need and value of water in our life. And Return President, I can bet you that we all agree that water is indeed life. 70% of the earth is full of water. If water is not important, we wouldn't have had it like this. So this is a story of so precious a metal, which led to this famous quotation by King Ferdinand of Spain as far back as the 1500s. And what did he say? We still say it today. And he said, and I quote, "Get gold, humanly possible, get gold, but at all costs, get gold." Return President will come back to this quotation. It's a very deep quotation. And so let's look at mining practices and some best practices. By dictionary definition, mining is just the extraction of, in our case, gold, which unfortunately is found hidden in riverbeds and water bodies, and also in rocks. It's the same water that we are seeking to protect. It's the same water body that gold decided to go and hide. And so the question again is, should we leave the water clean, or we should just look for the gold? I have already enumerated the relevance of gold, and now we want to talk about water. Unfortunately, once again, gold is hiding in water. Such activity with no recourse to state permission is considered as illegal mining activity. So illegal mining activity is any mining which does not have recourse to state permission. But let's not forget that mining, whether it's legal or illegal, can pollute our water bodies. I'm just saying this to keep the name of our indigenous miners clean, please. Because many a time we blame our indigenous miners and call them all kinds of names as if they are the only ones destroying our water bodies. A 2019 report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime considered any mining activity which leads to severe environmental impact as illegal. So it's not only indigenous or small-scale mining which is illegal. Let's look at the case of Ghana. Illegal mining activity started as far back as 1940, before Ghana got independence, both by indigenes in Ghana and also by foreigners, Europeans most especially. Then came the point of 1800 where mining or the search for gold came to a halt at a slow pace because there was far more concentration on the trade of slaves than on gold. So in the 1800s, mining or the search for gold came to a slow pace. Illegal mining as a term became very limited to mining by indigenes under the colonial administration in Ghana. So illegal mining was termed as such only when it is being engaged in by indigenous Ghanaians. And then large-scale mining continued. Meanwhile, large-scale mining spillage from sulfur treatment plants can cause huge damage to our water bodies and our environment. And also, I must say here that mercury pollution from small-scale mining activities is also happening in Ghana and also a threat to our water bodies. So what is mercury? Return President, there is no way a small-scale miner will look for gold, search for gold without the use of mercury, because mercury is like a magnet to gold. Just as magnet is able to magnet any ferrous metal, mercury is also able to attract gold. So when gold is mixed with the soil in the mining activity, it is mercury that removes the gold from the soil or separates the gold from the soil, which has already been extracted from the water body. And this same mercury can cause huge destruction to our biodiversity, contaminate our food chain, destroy water which hitherto was potable, and causes serious environmental hazards, cause infant mortality, a whole lot of things that we will get to talk about later. So mercury is a very dangerous thing, but it is still used in mining. So back to the question and back to the topic, to mine or not to mine, if we want to safeguard our water bodies. I want us to take a look at the effects of mercury or mining on our streams and our water bodies. A lot of sample tests taken from 28 communities in Obuasi alone This is a TRAJ report, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice report. Several tests from Obuasi alone indicate that most of the water found in the rivers, in the water, and the streams do not meet allowable drinking standards by World Health Organization standard. And mining in Obuasi mainly is large-scale mining, not just small-scale mining. Records from hospitals in Obuasi, also from surveys of doctors, also point to the fact that most cases reported in the health facilities are all related to polluted water. Meanwhile, there are royalties that are paid for mining, which get into the hands of chiefs only and doesn't get to sort out development facilities in terms of water provision in these mining communities. Then again, there are cases found in the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice report of mining companies which have been existing since 2001 to now. How many years now? So many years. And yet have few boreholes drilled to provide water for the communities. And fellow Rotarians, it is also sad to say that there are cases of just 2 boreholes, only 2 boreholes in most mining communities, supplying water to close to 1,000 people in a community. I want to continue by saying that in most mining communities and in most surveys that have been conducted between 2012 and now, it's discovered that average concentration of mercury in most of the rivers in Ghana, especially River Pra, is even beyond WHO guidelines, which means that our water bodies are indeed polluted a lot as a result of looking or searching for or mining gold. In 2007 alone, it was noted that Environmental Protection Agency in Ghana spent so much money to restore water in our communities. So much money on afforestation, on water restoration, on the treatment of diseases and all that. Close to 4 billion Ghana cedis, almost equivalent of 4% of Ghana's GDP. And this is a 2017 report just to restore water. And what caused it is the mining of gold. This gold we are talking about is very important. And that's why people continue to mess up with the water bodies, which are drinking water for communities, and focus on just the gold. Why? Because in USA alone, gold, the use of gold in electronics alone takes about 37%. 37% of all gold that enters in United States of America goes into electronics. 50% of that goes into jewelry, others goes into minted coins, and several others. In our own Ghana, it is said by research that all the gold jewelry we wear does not even account to 20% of the national sales of Ghana. So we extract a lot of gold here, but nothing much comes into our hands in the form of jewelry. Unlike United States of America, where 50% of the gold goes into jewelry. And gold jewelry is very important because it comes as a heirloom that every person will collect and pass on to his or her next generation. It happened in the Bible days and it's still happening. So I'm going to try to take a look at the value of water and the value of gold, to juxtapose these two and try to see which one is more important than the other. The value of water is obvious. It's non-negotiable. Returning President, all of us here today use water in the form of bathing, brushing of teeth, drinking, eating, and much, much more. But not all of us here on call use gold. So I can say, or I can conclude that water is more valuable, even though gold is valuable. Without water, we can't survive. But without gold, we can't survive. However, in my point 2, I try to take a look at the value of gold in detail. This is a noble metal, which plays a significant role in marriages, in birth, in puberty, in funerals, in royalty, and in festivals. You can't talk about royalty without talking gold. You can't talk Queen Elizabeth without talking gold, Mr. President. When she passed on, her gold collection alone was huge amount of pounds sterling. Even in our own Africa, you can't talk about the king of Swaziland or the king of Ashanti without talking about or making reference to gold. We use gold for industrial purposes in aircraft, circuits, in electronics, even in dentistry. Gold plays a role as an economic value in terms of gold reserves. Unlike water, gold is the only product which is tracked daily in terms of price on www.kitco.com. I've not seen water being tracked in terms of daily price of it, but gold, the price of it is tracked every day because it's very, very valuable. I dare say that gold is valuable than water. I dare not say that. I can't, Return President. But at the end of the discussion and contributions and questions that come up, those on call will be able to make a decision to see whether gold is more valuable than water or vice versa. Fellow Rotarians, in all this presentation so far, we have all seen how valuable gold is and how the search of gold and the mining of gold has become detrimental to our water bodies. There are several communities that do not have water. There are several Rotary clubs in Ghana and even internationally that continue to provide boreholes for communities that do not have water. And this is an expensive exercise. The creator of the earth decided to make provision for streams and water bodies as clean as possible and as potable as possible. And I remember as far back as the 70s, when I go to my hometown, we used to drink from the streams. Today, you dare not. So we want to say that our water bodies are polluted with mercury and with cyanide spillage, both from the large-scale mining companies and also from small-scale mining activities. However, I wish to say that the search for gold will not stop. Let's not deceive ourselves, fellow Rotarians. It will not stop because of its value. And so we'll try to look at why or how the search of gold can continue without damaging our water bodies and without putting so much cost on Rotary clubs in their quest to drill boreholes. The first thing to do is to just stop calling the dog with its bad name, give it a more decent name. Instead of calling it galamsey, let's rather give it a better name, maybe indigenous mining, and make it more glorifying. The next thing is to be able to have a more strengthened environmental protection agency that will adhere to World Gold Council standards to be able to make sure that the gold that is being mined per international standards. You bear with me, fellow Rotarians, that out of the 16 regions we have in Ghana, I think it's just about 2 of these regions that do not have gold. So in as much as we want to find gold or mine gold, we need to adhere to World Gold Council standards. We need to regularize and support our community mining activities at a small scale level. There are instances of community mining activities going on that are not destroying streams and polluting water bodies because they make use of a commodity extractor which is able to separate gold or wash gold without recourse to the mercury content in the gold getting into our streams. So if this is possible at certain communities, then it can be possible nationally. Then again, if fellow Rotarians, if you remember in the 80s, there came up what we call Agric Extension Officer schemes. Ghana at that time was leading producer of cocoa and wanted to stay in that status as such. And so the government decided to adopt Agric Extension Officer scheme, whereby Agric Extension officers, experts in agriculture, will go to the farming communities and help the farmers on how to plant cocoa, how to space cocoa during planting, how to spray cocoa and when to spray cocoa, how to prune and all that. This same system can be adopted for the mining activities, whereby we have a lot of professionals from TAPA and KNUST, mining engineers, going to the mining communities to help them to mine without destroying our water bodies. And then if we have our communities taking a share in the gold mine instead of collecting royalties, then the share in the gold mine, whether it's of Boise or Kwabena or whatever it is, they will be able to use a share of the gold to develop their drinking water capacity. And if possibly we can reverse to the 1960 model of having a state mining company, then we will not have illegal mining going on as such. Awareness creation is also another way we can make sure that our water bodies will be clean as we continue to mine. If we, like such presentations, get more aware of World Gold Council principles and the Mining Act of Ghana, then we'll be able to, as individuals, challenge certain mining activities going on and also causing pollution in our environment. Lieutenant President Andrew, I'm almost done if you indulge me a few more minutes. And so this awareness will enable us to keep our water bodies clean. That's why presentations like this is very important, so that every Ghanaian will get to know what entails in this mining activity. And I bet to say that, yes, we can mine gold without spoiling our water bodies. We can swim without choking on water. We can mine without destroying our water bodies. As the King of Spain said in the 1500s, humanely, let us get gold, but let's keep our water bodies clean. I thank you very much, Lieutenant President. At this stage, I ask for questions and contributions. Thank you, Lieutenant President Andrew.
Thank you very much, P.U. Kwabena. Humanly, let us get gold, but let's keep our water bodies clean. P.U. Kwabena, we are currently 69 on call. I believe there are quite a number of people who have comments, questions, or contributions. You are right on time, and I would want to commend you for that. Hello, parents, members of the Rotary family. At this point, we want to take some questions. If you may have, just put your hand up, and we'll call you. Kindly put your hand up if you have any. Okay, so I see a hand up. That's PAG Joe. Okay, I guess she was clapping. Okay, another person was, okay, PR Lillian. Is there a question, or you are just, you are trying to clap? PR Lillian.
It's a clap, please.
It's a clap, very well, very well. Okay, I see a hand up, PU Chris. Okay, over to you.
Thank you very much, RP. Should I say prospective Rotarian? Well, I mean, they're under formation anyway. So, President-elect Kwabena Asomaning. My question is more coming from the environmental law side, okay? I'd want to know from you, are there laws that protect our, I presume that there are laws that protect our water bodies. My question to you is that, have there been any criminal cases against mining? I don't know, not every small scale mining company is illegal. It's a galamsey. There are small scale miners, and then there are people who are doing it illegally that we call the galamseyers. But my question is, has there been any criminal case brought against a gold mining company? Or more so, has there ever been a civil case brought against a gold mining company by one of the communities downstream who are suffering from the polluted water? That's my question to you.
Okay.
Thank
you very much, Grace, for your question. We want to take the second question from Blankson Kofi from Akron Foundation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rotarian President. And so my question to President-elect Kwabena Asomaning is, in his presentation, he mentioned that we could mine without destroying our water bodies. Then again, in his presentation, he mentioned that mercury which is being used to mine is actually destroying the water bodies. So my question here is there any alternative to this application of mercury in mining which can help to, eradicate this kind of menace? So that is my question, Rotarian President.
Thank you very much. Kwabena, kindly answer these two questions.
Right, Rotarian President Andrew, thank you very much. I'll take the first question, even though it's the most difficult question of the two. Rotarian President Chris, you realize that anybody who is engaged in a mining activity is wealthy. Anybody engaged in a mining activity has substance, because gold is of more value than any other item you can think of. So it happens that in the mining communities, a lot of people who have complained are not able to proceed to court. And I would like to use my own grandmother as an example. When in 1996, 98, thereabout, her farm, which was not just a farm, but also had streams and rivers supplying water to people in the community, was taken over by a mining giant from Canada. This stream that we're all making use of became degraded. However, the people in the community, including my own grandmother, could only talk and make so much noise, but couldn't proceed to court. It's very sad and very unfortunate. And also, when you proceed to the chief's palace, you end up withdrawing the case, because this is a situation where the mining giant, or even a small-scale miner, will go and grease the palms of the leaders of the traditional authority, and your case will be thrown out of nowhere. You yourself, you can't even pursue the case. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice report that came up citing bogus mines and other mining activities going on, whereby they are destroying the water bodies and yet providing only 2 boreholes for the whole large community. This is just a report. No charges were brought up against them. But I want to say in my conclusion that the more Ghanaians and the more professionals, like professionals of Rotarians with different classifications, get to know of all these things and the awareness is created, one day somebody will be able to take them on, rather than just going to the community to spend so much to provide water for the community. One day, a Rotary club here in Accra or Kumasi or wherever would rather decide to spend so much awareness on the protection of the natural streams. As a Rotarian President Chris, over to you. Maybe one day you lead us to courts challenging some of these cases. It's sad, but it has to be so. And I'll take the second question to, prospective Rotarian Blankson, my club secretary. You asked that how can we mine in a clean manner when we are using mercury, and when mercury itself is a very dangerous aspect of mining. Look at what mercury has done to so many people. But my answer is that yes, we can, because there is a technology which is able to separate mercury from gold without contaminating the water bodies. So what happens is that when the mercury is used to attract the gold, the mercury has to be smoked out or heated out. In the process of heating the mercury out of the gold amalgam, the mercury goes into the environment and end up in our water and all of that. But there are, like I mentioned earlier, there's a technology that is being used, like the commodity extractor. It is a technology that's able to separate the gold from mercury. You even get the mercury back. The mercury doesn't go into the environment. You get it back, which you can reuse. And so mercury is dangerous, but if it is carefully used, it safeguards the environment. There's another technology called thermos, whereby it's a glass device whereby you heat the gold amalgam containing the mercury, keeps the gold separate from the mercury without the mercury getting into the environment. And so there are a lot of technology available, but if the awareness is created, we will make sure we put pressure on them to do the right thing at the right time. Thank you very much, Rotarian President Andrew.
Thank you very much, P. Kwabena. This is a well thought through presentation, and I don't deserve every thank you to you out there. You're a Rotarian ideally, but since you are a prospective Rotarian and your club is set to be chartered, I believe this will be your first certificate of appreciation you'll be receiving. And I would invite PAG Ajo to show appreciation to you on our behalf.
Please, can I ask a question?
Okay.
Can I carry on?
So if you could please do that in 30 seconds.
Good evening, fellows. My question is, most of our mining sector, our gold and all that, we mine and we mine for money. The reason is because we can see in Ghana here, we don't have gold reserve for the next generations to come, like how the US, the UKs and all that. We rather sell it to them. And I just want to ask, what are we reserving for the next generation? That's a question I want to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. President, can I take it?
Yeah, in 30 seconds.
Yes, thank you very much. This is a question that I have been very passionate about myself. Early on in independence, in the early 60s, the legal structures we had in place was such that, actually at that time it was Obuasi gold mines, was such that any gold that is mined, the state has a share in it. And then came in the military coup and a whole lot of changes in government. Long story short, today as we are talking, there's no gold mining company that gives us a share in gold. Every gold mining company gives us taxes, they give us royalties, they give us salaries for the workers or the Ghanaians they employ. And all these things they give us are just paper. Money is paper, currency is paper. Yeah. But there's no mining company that gives us actual gold. Ghana, as we speak, is the largest producer of gold in the whole of Africa. And so it means that if any company mines gold, if you are mining 10 tons of gold, then the state should at least be giving 2 tons of gold. So until we change our legislature, it will be difficult to ask for these things. So far, all the mining companies, they don't give us any share of gold. Moving on, we should be able to get a share in the gold that is mined. And that's the only way we'll be able to store gold. If you look at Africa, for example, we are number 1 in terms of production of gold. If you look at Africa in terms of gold reserves or gold storage, we are nowhere close to even number 5. So moving on, we need to put pressure on the policymakers to ensure that Ghana gets a way of storing gold, not a way of going to use money to buy gold. We own the gold. We should ensure that our legislature will make provision for us to get a share in every gold that is mined in every mining community. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Right, thank you very much for keeping it brief and straight to the point for us. We're most grateful. PAG Ajo, if you could show appreciation to our speaker for us, considering that his club is yet to receive a full charter.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Rotarian Presidents, fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, and our prospective Rotarians. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Accra East, I would like to extend an appreciation to Mr. Kwabena Asomaning and for being our guest speaker. Thank you for the very informative and educative presentation. It was very interesting. I think this is one of the first times that I've actually listened to and clearly understood the issues that were brought for the discussion. So thank you very much. And then I also think from the discussion I heard that you are a prospective Rotarian. Hopefully your journey will continue, but we appreciate you. And hopefully the next time you come, you will speak to us about jewelry, because we have quite a number of us who are interested to also learn about what your vocation is or in terms of your profession with regards to jewelry. So thank you very much. And please keep this in mind, the 4-way test of the things we think, do or say or do. And when you get the certificate in the hard copy, you can kindly put it up in your office. So thank you very much, and keep on keeping. Thank you.